Hey, welcome to Scoot's Paradise. In today's video, I will do a quick rundown of the Hiboy Max V2 I use in my videos. I have put roughly 200 to 250 kilometers on the scooter. To start with, what most people want to know is how far can you go with it? There are quite a few factors that can affect this. However, as a few inches over 6 feet and roughly 180 pounds, I can get around 13 to 15 kilometers in sport mode and 22 to 24 kilometers in normal mode. And in eco mode, you may be able to reach the advertised range of 30 kilometers, but as it is limited to 15 kilometers an hour, it's rather underwhelming. Now, for speed, with only a 350 watt front hub motor supplied from a battery that is 36 volts and 7.5 amp hours, you will not be racing cars or burning much rubber for that matter. But it is more than enough to get you from point A to point B, provided that is not far of a distance. In sport mode, you get an indicated 31 kilometers an hour, but in reality it's probably closer to 30. Next, in comfort mode, the speed is an easy 22 to 24 kilometers an hour. And as I said earlier, in eco mode, you are limited to only 15 kilometers an hour. Not really exciting. And that is one of the main draws of little scooters, the zippiness of them. One of the main drawbacks is the battery's voltage sags after about half an hour, and you are limited to then only 24 to 25 kilometers an hour. For safety, the scooter has blue LED running lights on both sides of the deck and the red brake light that stays illuminated on the back when the headlights are on or you are using electronic brake. They are nothing to write home about. However, the dual LED headlights are mounted higher on the handlebars, and in the city, they are pretty good for you to be seen by other vehicles and pedestrians. And on the road, they're okay, but not much to write home about. The rear disc brake is fairly strong, with the electronic brake being really strong the faster you are going from the front hub motor. At the end of this video, I have a clip showing just the headlight so you can judge. For durability, that is a little more difficult. The 8.5-inch tires are solid, and you feel all the bumps and all the vibrations in the road. That can lead to either loosening of screws or of them breaking clean off. Make sure you always check your scooter over every few months and test each screws, and apply Loctite as needed. I prefer the solid tires for the peace of mind, and the main upside, you never have to worry about punctures, leaky tubes, or flats. Acceleration is not the worst, at about 10 to 12 seconds to reach top speed in sport mode, depending on the amount of weight and the battery level. Like most other scooters, as the battery discharges more, it becomes sluggish, but the hill climbing is surprisingly good. The manufacturer claims a max 9% slope, but it has been pretty good for some small to modest hills of up to 15 to 20%. But be careful, as the controller can burn out from the excess strain after prolonged use up steep hills. The scooter stem folds down, and the front wheel flips back to lock it down. The mechanism is very strong, surprisingly so, and you will have to step on the lever to release the mechanism with a modest amount of force. That gives you a very stable base to ride on. The grips are screwed on reverse threads, and they are a very grippy rubber material, and even when wet in the rain, I have had no problems holding on. The diameter of the scooter's handlebars are a little narrow for me, but all small form scooters have this issue. The deck is nice and reinforced, as the rear mudguard gives you somewhere to lean your foot against, extending the deck even farther. The grip pad under your feet is very solid, and after almost a year of riding, I have had no peeling or any problems to report, and you have more than enough room for your feet. If there is any main complaints about the scooter, however, I would have to say the battery capacity is kind of slow and very, very small, and it takes about roughly 6 hours to recharge from empty. The range is also very lacking, but for 399 Canadian rubles, it is a pretty good place to start. It's quick enough to satisfy your need for speed, but not so fast that you feel uncomfortable. I will have another video in the future showing all the upgrades I'm going to do to it. This little scooter is one of my favorites to boot around town and run errands. Finally, the Hiboy app allows you to turn on or off the cruise control. The scooter also beeps to let you know it's activated after 6 seconds. You can also select zero start or push to start. The former is automatically selected out of the box, and after connecting 2 wires and 4 screws, 2 on each side, the handlebars are fairly straightforward to connect and assemble. Lastly, you will have very little maintenance to do, but you should check all the screws and bolts every so often to make sure they're not loosening or falling out. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.